All right, man. Got some more time, so I know this is probably going to shock a lot of people. Two live streams, 2 straight days in a row. It is a shocker. Third episode of Detroit Lions 101. So we're gonna talk about Matthew Stafford and the trade rumors, and do you believe Bob Quinn saying they false, and the wife going on social media. She could be a part of a smoke screen. Also, Dave Burkett feels that Darius Slade might be moved. We'll talk a little bit about his contract, how that may have played out, and if they do move Darius Slay and they do move Matthew Stafford, how that signifies a rebuild is coming. All right, but like I said before, make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Don't forget all our social media links are in the description from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Even the email is there if you need to reach me. Twitter and email are the best ways to reach out to me, the fastest, most efficient ways. Questions, video requests, business inquiries, sponsorships, whatever the situation may be, or you just want to have a conversation. Love to kick that off with you. So all my social media is in the description. You can touch the title. You can hit the drop down box. All of it is there. Want to make a donation to the channel? Best way to do that is share the video. But Cash App, PayPal information is in the description. But yeah, let's talk about Matthew Stafford possibly being moved. And his wife went on social media. Some people think it was a smoke screen to make it seem like the Lions want to take a quarterback at 3, so somebody can trade up with them. That could be the case. Usually, I like the wives to stay out of it. I remember Darius Slade's wife came on my Facebook post after she blasted the fans a couple years ago. But I think it'll be stupid, man. They finally get their cap together from the dead money and Dominican Sue and some of the other, cap issues they had. You get this money together, and now you willing to flush the money down the drain to trade Matthew Stafford, and the cap hit is around $32 million. I mean, that really limits what you can do. In free agent. Now, Bob Quinn did hit the free press up, told the free press that it was false. And my problem with that is Bob Quinn don't never, or the Lions organization don't never leak information or connect or drop news to the local media. If Matthew Stafford got traded today, it'll be broke by somebody at ESPN, NFL Network, CBS Sports, some Fox journalist. Somebody will break it. Not free press, not news, not M Live. No, somebody else. If it ain't the Detroit Lions website, it'll be broke through a major media outlet. So for Bob Quinn to kind of go and text message the free press, I find that kind of sketchy. Because he usually don't make that communication with them. But I just don't think, like I said plenty of times, I don't think the time to trade Matthew Stafford is now. Not because, I said you might see a quarterback you like, or I'm just saying because of the cap hit. And if, contrary to what people believe, is that, the Bob Quinn said they're going to take their time, and, they might be in a rush to throw something together to try to put a winner on the field. So, Cornell, what's going on? Cornell P. They might be in a rush to throw a winner on the field, to be honest. So I just think that's counterproductive. If you like a quarterback like Tua, I mean, it's cheaper because the quarterback not going to have a $32 million hit. It's cheaper to keep Stafford this year. And if Tua beats Stafford out in camp or at some point plays Tua and just ride out with Stafford, cap hit the way it is. Now that the NFL and the NBA have slotted, salaries for the rookies, they can't get that big money that Sam Bradford got. I think he was one of the last guys to get that big money, or the big contract Matthew got, or the big contract Calvin got, or big contract Dominican Sue got. The NFL finessed the NFL Players Association. They took that money and put it back in their pockets and said it was going to go to the veterans. But the money that they took from the rookies, it didn't go to the vets. It went back into the NFL owners' pockets. And they finessed the players again. So, if they are looking to trade Matthew Stafford, I know San Diego might be a spot. Oakland might be a destination for him. New England might be a destination for him. And people think, Stafford is going to fetch a 1 and a 3 back. I think you lucky to get a second round for Matthew Stafford. You might can get a first for him, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it just don't make no sense. You can draft a quarterback, develop him behind Matthew Stafford, and then next year Stafford cap hit is a lot less. But I wouldn't put it past him. I think when you're a GM of a team, you come in to make your mark, you want to in my opinion, I think you want your own coach and you want your own quarterback. And one thing Bob Quinn could probably say coming in Detroit, when all the chips is down and he getting fired, he'd be like, well, I never got to choose my own quarterback. I'm telling you, when somebody comes into an organization, you know what I'm saying, the quarterback position and the head coaching position is the two spots you want to be able to change. So Bob Quinn never got to flex his muscles or show his ability to identify a quarterback. I don't think he wanted to keep Matthew Stafford at the quarterback position. I think he was forced to pay him. I think Martha wants to keep him around, and I just think that if he could trade Matthew Stafford and not be no steep penalties like a $32 million cap hit, I think he would trade Matthew Stafford. And then this the same narrative that they have with Andre Drummond. They point to Stafford stats and why we trade Drummond, why we trade Stafford, we gonna be terrible without him. But last time I checked, the last 11 or 12 seasons, you've been terrible with him. You know what I'm saying? So what's the fear? You've been in the losing zone. You were 7 last year in the draft, you 3 this year. Did he have his moments? Yeah, but did he get you a playoff win? No. Did he get you an NFC North division? No. So, being married to somebody and pointing to their stats, I know we're in an era of deep analytics, and this, that, and the third. And at the end of the day, 11 or 12 years of pedestrian play, I don't care if he was injured early on or whatever they want to say, he hasn't cut the cake. He hasn't cut the cake. Oh, they haven't given him this and they haven't given him that. And they did. Well, at the end of the day, you are what your situation is. It is what it is. With Andre Drummond, people still crying about Drummond leaving. Oh, I can't believe we got rid of Drummond. They would have lost the same games with Andre Drummond as they losing with Christian Woods. You just paying a cheaper salary to lose. Same thing with Matthew Stafford. People swear we would have had Stafford, we would have made the playoffs. No. Didn't matter. They had a losing record with Stafford. They just lost to the Oakland Raiders. You know what I'm saying? They lost to the Raiders. Stafford made some bad throws in that game. It's been plenty of years, growing up, watching the Lions through the years. You know what I'm saying? And watching the Lions and, damn, if, this guy was healthy, or damn, if our defense would have came around, or damn, if we would have did this and this guy would have been healthy, we would have won. But 20 odd years of that, it ain't never all came together. Brett Harrison just joined, but what if this is a scare tactic to force the Dolphins to trade up and we land Chase Young? Just a thought. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said coming in. I know you just joined. I think they might put Kelly Stafford on out there as a smokescreen. I do. I remember somebody said it on social media today, and I agree with it. It's probably a smokescreen. It's probably a smokescreen. And they probably really, really want Chase Young. I definitely think this could be a smokescreen because it makes no sense. In my opinion, it makes no sense to trade Matthew Stafford when you can carry 2 quarterbacks, right? You can carry 2 QBs at once, and it's cheaper. So I wouldn't buy it. The Force need to Garner say the Force need to sell. Still running the Lions like their Ford company. They don't care about the team. Flat out agreed. DJ Sahad, sorry. 1990, I'm with trading him now, but we do need to invest in the quarterback. I ain't with trading him now. We do need to address in the quarterback. They need to address the quarterback this year. I'm not with trading him now. You neither. It's the stupidest decision you can make. You know what I'm saying? If they really want to do a scare tactic, have Stafford retire. Have Stafford announce his retirement and say, well, we got to get a quarterback now. And after the draft, say Stafford changed his mind. That's what I would do. Do a Brett Favre. If they really want to do a scare tactic to get the Dolphins to jump up, have Stafford retire. Just say my back too bad. I can't. Especially if you don't really plan on trading them, and this is a smokescreen. Have Matthew Stafford retire right now. You know what I'm saying? Have him retire now. If he have any workout bonuses right now, you hold on to that. You let him get his workout bonuses or whatever, a roster bonus. You let him get his money, and you have him retire. You have him retired in March. right before the draft or in April, right before the draft, you have him retired. That's the ultimate smokescreen. If they want to do it the right way, you ain't got to go get the wife to say, "Oh, we out of here to San Diego," or "It's nice. I mean, to LA. It's nice in LA to the Chargers." No, have him retire. And you evaluate every quarterback coming in. You do a private workout with Tua. You try to woo Tua. You do a private workout with Burrows, and it might be a dirty tactic. But shit, we all know a lot of us from Detroit. You gotta get your hands dirty sometimes. That's what I would do personally. I would have him retire. That'd be the ultimate rope a dope. And I guarantee you the Dolphins gonna jump up like, and then you call Washington like, hey, what would it take for us to jump up to 2 to make sure you won't trade to the Dolphins? And you trying to get serious with the Dolphins, you try to get serious with the Redskins a little bit. Or the Dolphins offering this. I don't know, man. And you let the Dolphins jump up, and then you take Chase Young, and then you say, oh, Matthew Stafford coming back. That's what I would do if this is truly a smokescreen. That's exactly what I would do. Truth be told, all day, it's exactly what I would do. I would say, Stafford, just retire. We make sure he gives roster bonus. His back messed up. He can't go on. I work out Tua. I'll be talking to Cincinnati about trading up for Burrows. I'll be talking to just playing the role really, really well. Playing it really, really well. And then once the Dolphins jump up like idiots, or whoever jump up like an idiot, hey, Chase Young, baby. If that's what they really want. They said that a team has a higher grade on Chase Young than they had on Nick Bosa. And you seen what old MAGA Nick Bosa was doing out there. He was perhaps the best football player in the Super Bowl consistently on the field. But the time is coming to replace Matthew Stafford. It ain't a perfect position to carry a quarterback now. Haven't really evaluate the quarterbacks. I seen the rankings today. I think it was Burrows, Tua, I think Jordan Love. They had him going 19 to the Raiders. I watched a little bit of Jordan Love. Strong arm, solid accuracy, but consistency. One of the big schools he played, he didn't play so well. I think he a good guy. I think he a nice, tall, strong quarterback. I would like to see them just get a mobile quarterback. You know what I'm saying? A guy that can get out there, move, and and a mobile quarterback would also open up the run lanes. With Lamar Jackson done for the Baltimore Ravens run game before Joe Flacco fell off. They couldn't get that run game going with Gus Edwards and nobody. You insert Lamar Jackson, and the threat of him running, you have to defend the 11th guy. He opened up a lot of rush lanes for them. So I do think they need to find somebody that's mobile. If you don't find nobody that's mobile, then you need to find a great offensive line. That's the key for the Lions to be successful going forward, is to be able to run the football. Because you're able to run the football, even if your pass protection not that great, it's the balance. If I got to think rushing the passer, that you might run the ball, you might run a power, you might run a draw, you might run a delay. If I have to respect the run game, then I can't rush the passer like they rush the Lions now. They rush the Lions. They rush the Lions like no fear of the running game. They don't put 8-9 men in the box. You know what I'm saying? They just keep a regular 7-man in the box, if that. They can go out there in a nickel situation. They can go out there in a dime situation. The Lions still can't run the ball. So if you have to respect the run game, that also helps your pass offense out, your pass blocking out, because you don't know if they rerunning or throwing, especially if you get the screen game going. Especially if you're able to get Hawkinson to control the middle of the field, like Kittles do. They always got to respect Kittles coming out on the block delays and, controlling the middle of the field. If you can control the middle of the field in the run game with your passing game, that's why the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl. And the defense was solid. Obviously, the defense got to be together, but everybody talking about the defense was terrible. The run game is so vital to a successful football team. It's very, very vital, because it's the one aspect of football that helps, offense and defense. Because if you get up by 20 points and you start turning the ball over, going 3 and out, then your defense got to play on his heels. But if you up 20 and you continue to run and grind the ball out, then the other offense doesn't get opportunities. The run game is offense and defense. You know what I'm saying? It's the one thing the Lions haven't had. They had prolific offenses, they had prolific defenses, but the actual run game, you get to the red zone. Matthew Stafford has to fit it like in this really super tight window because they have no fear of the run game. But if you can run the ball in the red zone, play action opens stuff up. It opens things up. You know what I'm saying? Now they got to put guys in the box. Now it'll open up the fade to Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay. Now you can play action and you can go. You can do the rub routes. You can do the stick routes. Or you can do the slants and the arrows. You can do all those different routes. The run game keeps the defense rested. It wears the defense out. The run game helps ball control. The run game helps the rushing game. The run game helps the play action game, which helps the deep passing game. So it's really, really vital. It's really, really vital for the Lions. I think that's their number one priority is getting the run game together and getting some really, really powerful dudes to run the ball. Oh my gosh, Lanto, what's going on? He said the run game is more important than the defense. I hate looking on the True Lion pages and see people say drive defense. That irritates me. Yeah, the run game is actually very, very, it's more important because it's not because that's what the 49ers did well or that's what the Patriots do well as well. No, it's important because that's what the Lions haven't done well in the last 20 years. They had a half a good season with Drake Bell and Reggie Bush. They start fumbling at the end. They had a 1,000-yard year with James Stewart, but other than that, they haven't had that run game. And that run game is very, very important because it helps all phases for the most part. It helps Matthew Stafford, especially you got a quarterback that got a messed up back. And let's just say they are looking to bring in a predecessor in this year or next year's draft or in the free agency. It helps them as well. Why was Ryan Tannehill so successful? Detroit, Michigan, 1990. Salute. Why was Ryan Tannehill so successful? It wasn't because of A.J. Brown or Mike Vrabel was a great coach. They was able to run the ball. Marcus Mariota just couldn't make the basic plays. He couldn't make the basic throws. Tannehill had something that he didn't have in Miami. He had a running back that could run it, and he showed that he had a good deep ball. That's all he needed. He was able to connect to A.J. Brown, Tajay Sharp. He was able to connect with the Juno Smith. I hope I'm saying his name right. The tight end. The Lions they get the guys in the trenches that can open up the holes. You were able to run the ball. Then you know what I'm saying. You don't need the new receivers. Then everything can stay the same. You can even replace Danny Amendola with Marvin Hall. You know what I'm saying? Because Marvin Hall is showing that he can stretch the field. That's the perfect guy you want with a running game. Run the ball, run around, play action. Put him on that deep post or that deep crossing route. It's touchdown. Imagine, you getting one-on-one with Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones, a lot of the times where you got 8-9 men in the box. Back shoulder fade. Galladay on the sluggo. Galladay on the double move. Galladay on the post route. You know what I'm saying? Matthew Stafford going to have a lot of easy throws to make. He don't have to throw it in tight windows. The running game is probably the most important need they need to feel. That's very, very vital. If they don't feel that need, they can go out there and have the greatest defense of all time. If they still going 3 and out, they still can't pick up 3rd, 4th and 1. And also, if you can't run the ball, I guarantee you, if you don't have a great run game, I guarantee you your red zone offense will be terrible. And no matter how good your defense is, if your offense ain't able to put drives together, your defense gonna get wore out. So that's the one place they've been weak at for their entire career, and that's the one thing Matthew Stafford ain't really had. And once Matthew Stafford did have a respectable run game with Drake Bell and Reggie Bush, I believe it was the year he put up the 40-some touchdowns. So that's something that most line coaches overlook. They need to bring in somebody that can run the ball. That's why one of the guys I wanted to bring in was Gary Kubiak to run the offense, because that's a proven run system. With Mike Shanahan and them. If it was Mike Anderson, if it was Terrell Davis, if it was Clinton Portis, if it was those guys that was running that zone rushing scheme, and they did it with RG3 with a twist. I can see Jordan Love coming in running that zone running scheme read option that RG3 ran. You know what I'm saying? I can see that's what they running in San Francisco. The one cut zone running scheme. That's what they run in Minnesota with Dalvin Cook. You read this is a zone blocking scheme. It's kind of like zone defense in basketball. You play an area. You block an area. You don't block a Pacific man. You block an area. You go down. You make one cut. You hit. You gone. I love that fit for the Lions. I actually like the Darrell Bevel fit too, but I love, them bringing in a guy like Gary Kubiak, which is now is upgraded after Ed Stefanowski's son got the job with Cleveland as the offensive coordinator in Minnesota. I love that rushing scheme, and I thought that was a rushing scheme that could have took the Lions out of problems, but people tend to don't see it, bro. That's the one glaring need with the Detroit Lions is that it ain't rush the ball. They had good defenses. They had explosive offensive, but consistently going out there rushing the ball, that can put 4 or 5, 3 more years on Matthew Stafford's career. Why Tom Brady playing until he's 20? Tom Brady was able to run the ball. And he able to get the ball out of his hand. So if it was a priority, the priority number one is the Russian defense. The Russian offense, excuse me. But that doesn't mean that I won't take Chase Young. Yeah, I mean, you got to take a guy that's rated. They are grading him higher than Nick Bosa. Do you know how impactful that is? I mean, if he half of what Nick Bosa was this year, I mean, Nick Bosa was perhaps the best football player on the field the majority of the Super Bowl until Patrick Mahomes turned his swag on. Let that sink in for a minute. If this dude is as half as good as Nick Bosa, if he is better than Nick Bosa, that's like damn near Lawrence Taylor status almost. And you can get that out of Trey. You put him with Trey Flowers and you put him with Deshaun Hand. Come on, who you gonna double team? You know what I'm saying? So that's impactful. But me saying that the rush offense is the number one priority fix doesn't mean I'm going to reach for a need instead of reaching for talent. No, you always take the talent. Always take the talent. When you reach for needs, you end up like the New York Giants where they could have had Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor, but they went another direction. You always reach for talent. Unless the talent is you stacked, at the talent position. If you got a whole bunch of star running backs, you got 3 really good running backs, I don't want to reach. But sometimes you got a guy like Saquon Barkley, Zeke Elliott, Barry Sanders. Sometimes you got to trade that talent to take that talent if you truly believe in it. But that's where a lot of teams get in trouble at. They draft for need and don't draft the talent. And you go back in the drafts and you look, he drafted for need, and the guy you usually draft for need don't even pan out to be a solid Pro Bowler. Don't even make the Pro Bowl. And the guy you passed up, he goes on to be this Hall of Famer, All-Pro type of guy. But he says Zeke Elliott rookie year, Cowboys defense sucked, but the ground game hid the flaws. They were 13-3. They trying to trade Todd Gurley $7 million a year for the next 3 years. That's not a bad salary, but he gonna come here and really be broke down. He really gonna be broke down. No Gurley, stay away from injury prone. Like T.J. Yang, Rick Wagner, and Mike Daniels. Definitely agree, but like I said before, it's not the time to trade Matthew Stafford. I think it's time for Stafford to tutor somebody for 2 or 3 years, bridge it over, and then eventually a guy come in and step. It's no rush to throw a rookie quarterback in there. And like I said, do I like some quarterbacks in this draft? I like Justin Herbert. I might be one of the very few. Love his mobility, love his arm, love his size. Like Jordan Love, but I've seen a little bit of him, very mobile. I gotta look at Easton, but last year I really liked the guy that the Patriots drafted, and Jordan Stidham. I liked him at Auburn. I thought he was a really good quarterback. I thought he was one of the best kept secrets. I thought he was better than Real Greer. That was the guy that I wanted the Lions to take late. I really like Jordan Stidham, and I think I know what Bill Belichick see in him. I know exactly what I see in him, but guys can rise and fall. But I think that running game need to be priority. And you look at the free agency. The one guy I would definitely go out there is the tackle from Indianapolis, Costanzo from Boston College. I would put him at right tackle, though. I think that's his natural position. And at 30, 31 years old, I think I would want to go veteran right tackle, and I would like to give me a young, athletic left tackle. But not sure where the left tackles are in the draft, and I know more once these dudes get out to the combine and I start seeing these dudes' names. But they need an athletic left tackle. Taylor Decker, come on, you can't continue to go with him, and don't give me don't give me the shit where excuse my language. Don't give me where we can move Taylor Decker to the right side. No, his run defense ain't good enough to go to the right side. When you have a traditional quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, the right side is usually the dominant run blocking side. The left side for right-handed quarterback is the pass blocking side. And pretty much, you got to be solid, running the ball, rushing the passer. Taylor Decker, I don't care what pro football focus say, Decker is no good at the blocking, pass blocking, or run blocking. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to shore up them guards too. They need some bullies on the inside. And with guards, you can get them in the middle rounds. You can get really, really good guards in the second, third, fourth, fifth round. I mean, Larry Warford was a third or fourth round pick. You really can get those guys in the middle rounds, and if you're able to get those guys, those bullies in the middle and those middles, I would tend to do that. But it's a process because then these dudes got to gel, they got to learn. So looking at the offensive line, if you done with everybody but with Frank Ragnow, what I would look to do is I would look to bring in Costanzo. You know what I'm saying? I would look to bring in him. Then I would look to find in a draft a nice young athletic left tackle. Somebody got some potential. I bring in him, and then I probably would look for a veteran guard, or I just might take 2 rookie guards. He said Terrell Crosby, rookie from Wisconsin. I think Terrell Crosby. I don't really see him. I think he's gonna be like a Adrian Waddle. He's gonna be a utility guy. You know what I'm saying? The offensive line don't have to be perfect, but with the Lions it may. They need 2 big mauler guards. You know what I'm saying? Guards. And you draft 2 guards, and if the guy from Wisconsin with the funny name, if he beat him out, he beat him out. But if not, it's not. You got competition there. But the tackle positions have to be addressed, and I think you address it with that veteran from Indianapolis if he truly free. And then you address it with a really young left tackle. And I still get 2 guards. Even if I have to commit to this draft to the offensive line, and I might go, my first 4 or 5 picks, 3 or 4 of them might be offensive linemen. I live with it. I definitely live with it because it's going to be important. It's going to be a gelling period too. It's going to be a gelling period. And when I say it's going to be a gelling period, it's going to be camaraderie across the offensive line. Everybody got used to each other, the calls, the audibles. But that's one of the reasons you go young. Because you got them for cheap. You know what I'm saying? Everybody cheap, and everybody going to grow together. It's going to come a point where you have to pay them. But the running game has just been terrible. So you got to go out there and get bullies at guards. You know what I'm saying? I went to the Packer game and Crosby looked good at right tackle. He can look good. I wouldn't trust him. I'm sorry. They might have been chipping for him. They might have been sliding protection for him. You know what I'm saying? They might if he was good enough to start at right tackle, they would have started him off of Rick Wagner a long time ago. If he couldn't beat out Rick Wagner, he would just be my utility guy. And if I brought in Costanzo and he beat him out, if I brought in another tackle, he beat him out. But Stafford needs to change the scenery. Him and the Lions just not working. The Lions had a top 10 defense in 2011 or a little after that when they had Terrell Austin. But the problem was they didn't have a good running game. That was a problem. But I mean, it's just you can't trade that guy right now. You just got your cap together, and trading Matthew Stafford means virtually you do nothing in free agency. That's it. So if you're gonna trade Matthew Stafford, you better at least get 2 picks for him. Yep, you better at least get 2 picks for him. The Lions still didn't pass first round of the playoffs. Then I agree. At some point, he does need to go. I'm not defending him, but I just don't think the time is now. I think you either need to get assets to get a Trevor Lawrence next year, or you need to find a young quarterback this year that can sit behind Stafford for a year. Then next year his cap hit not that big, I think. I believe pump faking Bob Quinn is trying to trade Stafford because the greatest quarterback of all time is a free agent. They will allow Brady to come here, drive the organization the way he see fit. Probably right, but I don't see him coming to Detroit. I think he goes out to LA. I don't see him coming to Detroit. It's just not enough here. Maybe that is the situation. But I do feel that I know when people come to a team, football guys, they want to pick their own coach and head coach, and they want to pick their own quarterback. And Bob Quinn, that's going to be an excuse. Well, I was forced to keep Matthew Stafford. I didn't really want him. Oh, Martha made me do this. I'm telling you. I only know this Crosby because I sat next to his college instructor. Yeah, they might was chipping. They can slide. They can bring a tight end on the side of them. So that's the difference. Sometimes they do things to help out, younger or fresher tackle. So the thing about it is if you don't have to chip and your 5 can pick up blitzes and your 5 can open rushing lanes, then that's why you do it. But that would be what I would do if I was able to get Chase Young. If not, and I didn't rate Isaiah Simmons that high, and I didn't really rate anybody else that high like Derrick Brown, I would trade down, get multiple picks, and I would fill out the offensive line. If I had to go out there with 4 out of 5 rookies, I'd do it. If I go get Costanzo and he be my right tackle, and then I fill out the rest of the team with 3 other rookies, I'd do it. Because then you look at the depth. You still got Crosby that been there for a while. He can play a little right. He can play a lot of right. Play left tackle. Play some right guard. You still got Wiggins. You still got Dow. You know what I'm saying? You still got the rookie from Wisconsin. Another thing they have to do is find somebody that can back up the center position. So I would fill out the offensive line and years to come. If I get Chase Young, then probably my next few picks gonna be offensive line if the talent is available. So that's just how I'm looking at it. Real talk with DeWine, what's going on? But that's what I would do personally. The offensive line is just gotta be done. And don't forget, they spent all that money on defense last year. Trey Flowers, Mike Daniels, you know what I'm saying? Justin Coleman. They spent a pick on Mario Rockwood. They spent on Rashad Melvin. They spent a draft pick on Tavai. You know what I'm saying? Tracy Walker, he came back. He's supposed to do big things this year. They got rid of Quadre Diggs. They spent a lot of money on defense last year. So you're going to do the same thing last year and look for a different result. Called insanity. Chase Young, if he there, yeah, I would definitely take him. If they say everything he is, you have to take him. But then, the Lions are in a position where they got to take the best talent available. That's what's crazy about it. It's not a need. But like I said, that would just be my primary focus would be retooling the offensive line. If you trade Stafford this year, what would you want in return? I mean, it's stupid to trade him because you would have to get multiple picks. And you might want a second, third, and fourth because then again, the Lions are projected. The cap is $200 million. I think that the Lions is projected to have $50 million in the cap. You can't do nothing after that. If $32 million ate up, it's the stupidest thing you can do. All your cap gone. So you're gonna need multiple picks for Stafford to fill out the roster. They just got the cap together. The guy that got the cap together, they fired him to bring a Patriot guy here. You know what I'm saying? They fired him to bring a Patriot guy here. The guy that fixed the cap. So what you do is you find a quarterback you like. Next year draft, you go to the veteran pool. You find a guy. Maybe you want to rebuild Marcus Mariota, or you wait late in the draft and get another quarterback. That's how you look at it. They did the whole offensive line already, from Wagner to Lang to Glasgow to Dale Wiggins to Ragnow to Taylor Decker. The whole offensive line has already been redone. But it's the one place that they haven't been successful at. And you need the biggest guards you can find, in my opinion. You need a veteran right tackle and an athletic left tackle. But you gotta keep trying. Offensive line gonna be cheaper than corner. Offensive line gonna be cheaper than a star pass rusher on the market. That's the truth. That's the one position they ain't been strong at. And Bob Quinn rebuilt the whole offensive line. He struck out every time except for Ragnow. But you gotta get the maulers in there, man. You gotta get those dudes that can open up holes. Once you get them mauler guards and them good tackles, man, their tackles was terrible last year. One of the reasons Matthew Stafford got injured. The tackles are the most important offensive lineman in the center. But for the Lions, they need to really completely do it all. But for Stafford, it's just dumb to trade him at this point. It's dumb to trade him. You just don't do it. You don't do it. If you like a quarterback, take him and have him sit behind Matthew Stafford. Trade him when the cap hit go down next season. It got to be coaching on the O-line at this point. It got to be coaching. It got to be coaching on the O-line. Because I don't get it. I've seen a lot of worse O-lines still, produce 1,000-yard rushers. It's been, I see Cincinnati still have success running the ball, more success than Detroit. Out of control. But let's talk about Darius Slay. Dave Burkett said that it's more than likely that Darius Slay may get moved. Other NFL insiders are saying that Darius Slay and AJ Obuaye, I think Obuaye, whatever his name is, that came from Houston. He played for Jacksonville next. They two corners that could be traded. I said that Darius Slay asking for $16 million is not high. It's only a $4 million bump up to what he get now. Said that Jalen Ramsey and Tre'Davious White is going to command $20 million per year. So Darius Slay still won't be the highest paid quarterback for too long. So he's not looking for number one cornerback money. The market just going to keep going up. So Ramsey and Tre'Davious White from the Buffalo Bills is going to reset the market at least $20 million. So Darius Slay is still asking for $4 million cheaper than what Tre'Davious White and that Jalen Ramsey going to get. So, Byron Jones from the Cowboys, he commanding $12 to $16 million from the market if he hit the market. So, the whole thing about it is that if it's not a rebuild, then you probably gonna be trading your best cornerback. Think about that for a minute. So, if y'all think Jeffrey Okudah, it don't work that way. A cornerback position is hard for you to come in as a rookie and make the impact. He won't be Darius Slay instantly. So, I get it. I'm not opposed to trading Darius Slay. He 29 years old. He getting older. Could he transition and play safety like Rod Woodson or Charles Woodson? That's another question for another day. So if you don't want to pay an aging cornerback, you trade him. And could they get a late first for him? Absolutely. Eagles will probably give a late first for him if they got one. Could you get a 3 and 4 for him or a 2nd, 3rd, 4th for him? Absolutely. It may make sense, but once again, you are trading your best player when you're trying to sell it to the city that it's not a rebuild. If it look like a rebuild, it sound like a rebuild, it feel like a rebuild, it smell like a rebuild, it is a rebuild. And I've been the one consistent guy telling you guys this team is a rebuild. Chris Harris is older too. He older. He coming off an ACL injury a couple years ago. That'll be counterproductive too. So if you're going to trade Darius Slay, you might as well draft a younger corner. It's a rebuild. It don't matter who you put at corner. Rashad Melvin and Amani Orakwe can go out there. Don't matter. You're trading your best football player. So, if you trade Darius Slay and if you truly talk about trading Matthew Stafford, it's a true rebuild. However you look at it. It's a true rebuild. If you take Jeff Okudah, which I'm not in favor of taking a corner that high, take him. But it's a rebuild. You trade your best football player, Darius Slay. You could trade your second best football player in Matthew Stafford. It's a rebuild. Especially if Stafford go out there and hurt his back again. What is that saying? It's a rebuild. So, with Darius Slay, I'm not opposed to trading him. I get it. But you better have a plan behind him. You better be able to replace him with somebody younger or that can do what he did. And people don't appreciate Darius Slay. I appreciate him so much because I remember the times when we was throwing Dre Bly out there and Chris Houston and Aaron Berry and Bill Bentley and Alex Carter. I mean, we had some of the trashiest cornerbacks you could find in the league. Caden Kemp, salute. We had some of the trashiest cornerbacks you can find. And people quick to forget that before Darius Slay got here, it was terrible. Chris Houston wasn't no number one corner. Maybe a number two on an average team. So I would look at it like, if they trade him, they trade him. If they can get a first for him, they can get a first for him. That means you can take Jeff Okudah and still find you, somebody else to go with him. But at the same time, you're looking at the situation. What he's asking for is not really monstrous, knowing that the market is going to be instantly reset to $20 million. Soon as he becomes the highest paid cornerback, Jalen Ramsey gonna reset the market. Then Tre'Davious White gonna reset the market. So I think they're gonna move him. To be honest, I think they're gonna move him. I don't think a contract is gonna happen. Should he be asking for the absolutely? He been consistent. He lived up and surpassed his rookie contract. He lived up and surpassed his second contract. Darius Slay just produced. He gonna go somewhere else. He gonna win some shit there. He gonna retire like Cliff Averill, talk shit about the Lions too. But I ain't never seen nobody get rid of their best defensive player, their best player on their football team and get better. So, with them looking to replace him, we'll see. We seen Bob Quinn, his quarterback selection. This would have been easier if Jalen Tease Tabor would have panned out. And one thing else to think about Bob Quinn, he just don't know how to cut bait and admit that he wrong. He don't know how to admit he wrong with Jared Davis. He don't want to admit that he wrong with Tease Tabor. He don't want to admit that he wrong with Taylor Decker. He didn't want to admit that he was wrong with Rick Wagner. You know what I'm saying? He been wrong more than he been right, and that's your average, NFL GM. The Patriots suck at drafting regardless. You feel me? But he didn't want to admit that Jalen Tease Tabor was bad. Had Tabor panned out, this would have been easy transition to get Slay up out of here. It'd have been easy to get Slay up out of here. Because then Tease Tabor and Amari Rockaway go out there, you set. That's why they drafted Tabor to replace Slay. And he couldn't do it. And Bob Quinn was just hoping he figured it out. But like I said, I ain't never seen nobody draft a corner at a 4.7. Because think about it, Richard Sherman was a guy that ran a 4.6, 4.7. They put him in a scheme that fit, but he can't run. So if he was a 4.6 or 4.7 coming out as a rookie, he played 3 or 4 seasons. What is he now? He a 4.5. I mean, he a 4.8, 4.9. When you get in the NFL, you don't get faster. You get banged up and you get slower. You get slower. You learn to make up. You make up what you learn. And you make up with experience and technique, and you make up for the lack of speed that way. But like I said before, you can't shuttle anybody out there that at corner that run a 4.7. This can't happen. He better be in that Tampa 2 Rondé Barber type of system where that cover 3 Richard Sherman was in. But with Darius Slay, if it's time to move on, it's time to move on. I'm not angry about it. But the fans saying, oh, he don't deserve this, he don't deserve that. Where was them people at about Matthew Stafford? He's been consistently a better player than Matthew Stafford. He's exceeded his playoff, his contracts. He done balled out. He done produced. Matthew Stafford has it. Now, give it to you that they play 2 different positions. Stafford position is dependent on wins and losses. He haven't won and lost. But every time it's a big play to be made, it's Darius Slay making it, from fumbles to pick sixes to win the game or to ice the game or picks. He making plays. And everything around Darius Slay ain't perfect, though. Everything around Matthew Stafford got to be perfect. Stafford had more help than... They didn't got Stafford more help than anything. Now, if they good at evaluating the help, no. But with Darius Slay, I'll probably look at Houston. I'll probably look at Philadelphia. New England may look at Darius Slay. And maybe some people that look at him and, hopefully he goes somewhere. He get his money. And, he ball out. He done a lot for the city. He exceeded my expectations coming out of Mississippi State. I didn't think he would be as good as he was, and he did it. Gerald 313 salute. Gerald Chris Houston was a good man. Chris Houston wasn't no good corner. He was okay. He wasn't no good corner. Chris Houston was terrible. He ain't going down in the he ain't going down as one of the best Lions. He was okay. He was a nice little press corner, but he wasn't no number one. That's why they brought in Darius Slay. That cap hood wouldn't hurt us as bad as trading Stafford if the coat comes to Detroit too. He ain't gonna come here, bro. That's the dumbest shit he can do. His career gonna be instantly over. He gonna break his leg, blow his Achilles out. He'll get exposed here. He'll truly get exposed playing in Detroit. Tom Brady will get exposed. Bill Belichick will be sipping tea, smoking on some OG Kush, laughing. If I'm the Lions, just get to it and build the offense, line and corners. But hell, no Lions Ben does this since they made this idiotic team. Excuse me, but once again, what you gotta understand about getting Tua, shit change. That mean Tua's a left-handed quarterback, so the protection got to change. So you want to keep his best pass protector on the right side now, and the run blocker on the left side now. So things change with Tua. That's the problem about drafting Tua. You handing off different. You used to get hand off from a right-handed quarterback, and also he a little bit small. He had chronic ankle injuries. Add that to a hip injury. Now college football is more physical than the NFL when it comes to the quarterback position because the NFL protects the quarterback position better. So I will give you that, but I think if I take a quarterback, I'd try to take Herbert that high. I would just, if I evaluate him, the size, the arm, I like him a lot. If not, you move down. Maybe you look at Eason. Maybe you look at Jordan Love. Maybe you wait till next year to take Trevor Lawrence or somebody else. But I definitely think they need to start prepping somebody behind Stafford. But Chase Young, if they rate him higher than Nick Bosa, you got to take him. He made it to the Pro Bowl with the worst front seven in the league. You know how hard that is. But yeah, no push. People don't understand. It ain't like you can put the stickums in your hand, you can jam and pass 5 yards. That's hard. Darius Slay gonna go somewhere and light it up. He wouldn't be top 3 with Philly's front seven. He would be top 3. Yeah, he gonna get hella picks there. As long as they find somebody respectable to go on his other side, I would probably predict he go to Philly if they got the money. If anything, Slay deserves better. I never understood the hate. He's had one bad season running a new scheme, and his best friend was traded for no reason. Yeah, people, they got a lot of hate for Darius Slay, but they don't have that same hate for Matthew Stafford. They sweep everything bad Stafford done in the rug, but Darius Slay gets shit, and they both in the same predicament. Darius Slay just flourishing because he a better talent. They would be dumb to get rid of big play. He's way better than Stafford. I believe he could play safety. If people forget, he learned from Delmas and Quinn. They probably get rid of him. They don't get rid of him. I'm telling you, they don't want to pay him. Remember, he been vocal in the locker room, and and he one of those voices. They want to clear out the voices in the locker room, and they want Matt Patricia to be the ultimate leader. So he probably be gone. He probably will. They may look into bringing in Bradley Roby, Chris Harris, Byron Jones, but I don't think none of those guys want to come here. But I think Bradley Roby will be a good fit for this scheme. He's a really good man corner out of Ohio State. He played pretty good for Houston, especially in the New England game last year. I liked him in his scheme last year. They didn't get him. But I think Bradley Roby is good. But I do think if they get rid of Darius Slay or Matthew Stafford or both, I actually think it's an actual rebuild to get rid of your top 2 players or one of your top 2 players, however it go. If it's Slay or if it's Stafford or if it's both. Like I said before, it's some hard shoes to fill. But the Lions really stripping the team of talent. You know what I'm saying? Because Matt Patricia want to be the only. He wants to be the only voice in the locker room. Excuse me. I think Quadre was traded because he said he had a difference of opinion and he was vocal. He was a leader. They was trying to censor his voice. Darius Slay the same way. So I do think they probably get rid of Darius Slay. And like I said before, I think Bob Quinn and Patricia, unless they win 3, 2, or 4 games next year, or none or 1. I think anything around 5 wins, they're gonna get another chance. So I think they're gonna be around for a minute. But they trade one of these 2, it's a rebuild. I think it truly is. But we'll see what happens. But y'all have some questions. I'll answer a few questions before I log off. The problem is they pay Stafford too much, and he is his 12th season. He didn't even win a playoff game. They need to be spending the money on offensive line and Slay. People don't realize how hard that was a key stuff. Marco Gaines said people don't realize how hard it is to hold someone the whole play when the quarterback has unlimited time to throw the ball. Agree. Appreciate it, Detroit. 1999. Yes, I know they did. Yeah, I got some more questions. I'll answer them. Darius Slay needs to go like a contender, Chiefs or the Ravens. I heard the Chiefs was somebody said, Mike Valenti said the Chiefs today. I was able to listen in for a second. Yeah, the Chiefs would be good for him. I think the Ravens would be good for him. Also, Jimmy Smith is on the market. He around the same age as Darius Slay. Good man corner. But yeah, if they don't bring Jimmy Smith back, I think the Ravens, I think Philadelphia is the spot. I think if they got the money, I think that's a good spot for him. Do you think we get good aspects back for Stafford Slay? Yeah, I think so. I heard maybe a late first for Slay. Thing about Stafford is you would probably prefer to get multiple picks back than a first rounder. You probably prefer to get a second, third, or fourth, or a second, fourth, and fifth, because you wouldn't have no free agent money. So you have to fill the team out with those players throughout the draft. Darius on the Chiefs would be filthy. Yeah, they got Breland over there and the Honey Badger, and that front seven. That'd be good. He good at manning up too. So Spagnuolo like to draw some pressures up. I think that would be good for him. I mean, where else you got? Seattle would be a good fit for him. We're not gonna get no first or second for Slay. I heard maybe a late first. I did. I heard that. Possibly a late first. Yeah, I did hear that. So I think you could get a first or second for him. I think a team like Philly will bite. Sure would. Especially if you ain't gotta pay him marquee money. Because if he get anywhere from 15 to 16, 14 to 16, that ain't marquee money, because Jalen Ramsey and Tre'Davious Wright gonna reset the market. So the contract not gonna break the bank neither for a team. So I think Philly would be willing to pay it first. You can make a video about the Pistons like this about the Pistons. Like what? I did a stream about the Pistons the other day. It's up somewhere. It's in the live stream playlist. Check it out. We're not going to get a first for second for Slay. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Keep coming to questions. You will. You will. How much could we realistically get with Stafford back? I really don't know about him. Could be a first. Could be a multiple picks. Joe Flacco went for a six pick. We'll just have to ride his career out. No, next year's cap hit not that big. So, next year's cap hit not that big. That's what I can say about it. I'm gonna look it up. I keep asking the questions though. When they keep restructuring his contract, that's probably why his cap hit so big. Yeah, they got a potential out next year. Yep, that's what it's saying. It's a potential out next year. 2021. 4 years, 108, $19 million in dead money. After next year, hold on. Yeah, after next year, it's only $19 million. It's only $19 million in dead money, but it's a $33 million cap hit after next year. But it's a potential out next year. So whatever the potential out is, it would only lead the Lions with $19 million in dead money. So it would only lead them $19 million with dead money. So yeah, so they can cut him after next year and probably not owe that much. So yeah, what you think about Jordan Love? I like him. He got a strong arm. I ain't watched a lot of him, but I see a mock draft have him going 19 to Raiders. I really don't see Stafford getting moved. The city loves him more than Drummond. That's saying a lot. Yeah, they do. But I don't see him getting moved at this point. It's just stupid money-wise. If we trade Slay to the Chiefs, we provide get the Jackson Mahomes, That'd be a good pick. What you think about Anthony Gordon? I don't know who that is. What he play? I watched more college football this year than I did last year, so I should know more. Quarterback. Oh, from the air raid system. I don't trust them motherfuckers, even though that's where Patrick Mahomes came from. Yeah, that coach went from he just went to Mississippi State, I think. Mike Leach. Yeah, I didn't see much of Washington State this year. He was 48 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. I really don't like that air raid offense though. But yeah, I gotta check them out. Any more questions? 21 questions. Any more questions? Any more questions? I don't know if they popping up. On my computer screen, they come up a little slower than they come up on the phone. Phone is faster. Hold on. One second. Oh. No more questions. I might log off. Well, he at Washington State. He looked pretty good in the Senior Bowl. Okay, I ain't watched the Senior Bowl though. Now, maybe he might be a good fit. What they got him projecting going? I just looked him up. I wonder what he projected to go. If the Lions can't draft Chase Young, I prefer them to trade down if they can get more picks and build the team. Yeah, I can see that. They don't hold Isaiah Simmons at a high price. I like to see them trade down and get more picks as well. I think that is a smart idea to do, but maybe they like somebody else. Maybe they like Derek Brown. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the guy named out of Auburn. That might be a situation where they might like him some, but I think that is the ideal situation is to trade down. And get a guy like that. So I think that is the situation. But like I said before, there's a lot of scenarios. Things could change. Somebody get hurt at pro day. Somebody fail a drug test. Somebody interview bad. I mean, keep going on and on. If somebody can just, run the blazing 40. Somebody can just blow out the combine and go move up. Somebody can mess up the combine and fall down. So, yeah. Do you think they're going to keep Davis? Yeah, I think they're going to keep Gerard Davis. I do. You're going to compete with Tavai. Will Martha Ford make it till 2021? No, let me chill. Wow, that's crazy. Defensive tackle Ken Law from South Carolina is a stud. South Carolina be having some good football players. They just don't have no good team. I don't know what's going on. They are competing with Clemson down there in the SEC too. That's the SEC tough, especially when it comes to recruiting. It's real tough. So that's crazy. He said, "Will Martha make it to 2021?" I trust the coach up for next time. Yeah, appreciate it. Bad start win. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the draft and the combine at the end of this month. Looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be solid. I think it's in Vegas this year. I ain't seen the new Raider Stadium. It look hella dope. It's all black. Like they got tinted windows up in there. It looked like the Death Star. We need Trevor. I love Trevor Lawrence to come here. That dude is an absolute stud. That's white chocolate on the football field. When he ran over Ohio State for that touchdown, he showed what type of athlete he was. That dude took it to the house 70 yards. Detroit will mess him up though. Detroit will mess Trevor Lawrence up. They will mess Trevor on up. We need to say them and use elements to our advantage. I ain't trying to go outside. I like the dome. I do not like going to outdoor stadiums, especially in Detroit weather. I'm straight. Keep that dome on top. I do not like going outside. It's different playing outside and then sitting outside. Do you think we should drive defense heavy O-line? But like I said, I like Justin Jefferson in the second. Oh, the receiver? Yeah, he fast, but I just think receiver is secondary now. I think I got to address that offensive line. What do they see him? He a terrible linebacker. He missed way too many tackles. Also, brother. What did they see in Excuse me. What did they see in Tease Tabor, bro? I argue with like people in the SEC I went to school with. A lot of them played, where they know football. Oh, Tease Tabor gonna be good. I said, man, I ain't trusting nobody that run no 4-7, dog. Especially to play in the system that the Lions eventually turned to. That was a man system. Like Tease Tabor in a zone system, and ain't nobody even picked him up. I'm surprised he ain't in the XFL. Real talk. He probably be going out there getting burnt in the XFL too. For real. But hey, I'm going to log off, man. I appreciate it. I know it's been a historic week with me going live 2 times this week. I think I went live 2 times last week. Pistons, Lions. So it's been very, very epic, man. But I appreciate everybody for checking in. Oh, he on the Niners? I didn't know that. Appreciate everybody for checking in. On the way out, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video. Appreciate the love, support. Want to make a donation? That information description. Best way to donate. Share the video. Much love.